Well, what do we have here? I tell you what we have here. We have the face of a discouraged bow hunter. I've been after this deer we named Highway here for 2 years, and quite honestly, he has my number. I've yet to see the old jewel in daylight. Several truck camera pictures of him. His daylight appearances, even at that on camera, have been very, very limited this year in particular. It's the second day of the West Virginia rifle season. As you see, I got orange on, as required by state law. And April has informed me that I'm not hunting tomorrow, that we're doing our Thanksgiving dinner a little early, and then I'll be required to stay at the house to help her, which is fine. You know, Dad used to always tell me, he said, son, you don't have to like it, you just have to do it. Just get up every morning and do what you're told, and things will be just fine. So I will be off tomorrow, so what I'm doing this evening is I'm sliding in here just a shade early. We've had a little bit of shower activity yesterday, and actually forecasted a little bit of showers for tomorrow. I set this stand this morning. I think this is my 4th set of the year, and quite honestly, it was almost a dry run. I sat there this morning and maybe only saw 2 deer all morning, and of course none of them was him, as expected. And to be honest with you, I almost didn't come back out this evening. The only reason I'm back out this evening is I left my bow hanging in the tree when I left this morning, knowing that I'd be back. And after I went home and got a cat nap, late morning, early afternoon, this old boy was dragging. Had it not be for that elite hanging in the tree, waiting for me to come back, I'd probably lay up on the couch this evening and watch a ball game. Nonetheless, we're 300 yards from the stand. We're going to climb in this evening and keep our fingers crossed. bucks. Bumping that doe. Just right below the stand here. They slipped in behind us. Just pretty fortunate. Right now they're not paying a bit of attention to anything with that doe. Hour. We're 45 minutes from dark. seen that deer in daylight. I absolutely cannot believe it. Holy smokes. I'm shaking so bad I'm about ready to fall out of this tree stand. Opening week of the West Virginia rifle season. Hey, we got it done with the old conventional way, boys. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. That is the infamous highway deer. Never seen him in daylight. Just trail camera pictures. I didn't think he was going to give us a shot. He'd come in there and start bumping them does. I just had a feeling this evening. The temperature dropped, cloud cover come in. Oh my God, I'm shaking so bad. Oh my God. Oh my God, I'm shaking so bad. Unreal. Unreal. Oh my God. All right, guys, we called for backup. We brought the extra horsepower in. Went and got Jeremy Johnson and Seth Fisher here to help with the recovery. I hate to get too optimistic. You know how it is. You know, every time you think you 10-ringed a deer, and it turns out you hit him a little low or something. But I'm feeling awful confident about this. I went and picked up the arrow. Arrow looks really solid. It's painted red tip to tip. I'm feeling really, really confident that, I mean, we just flat ruined his weekend. But, you got the extra horsepower here. We're going to go up and get started. Wish us luck. Keep your fingers crossed because he is a hoss. Basically what we have here is, you can see the ladder right there. See flat corner there. Mm-hmm. You got a valley or a little ravine that drops down this flat. The 2 flats below is all state property, all along the interstate. It's all bedding, it's all thick, nasty. Right here's the beginning of the hardwoods. When they start dropping the acorns is what gets them in here. And we actually found this spot last year by accident. It's the back end of the farm we hunt. But when we started hunting the deer sweet tooth that you saw there in season 1, we wanted to approach from the back side because we were going to invade and intrude his bedding area. So we wanted to come into that stand on the back side. And when we did, we actually saw this deer, Highway. We saw him last year trying to get into the sweet tooth stand. And that's how we discovered this place. That's how we found it. And then once we saw him in here, we went and hung a camera and sat there last year. It obviously just couldn't make it happen. Never did see the deer in daylight. And we had late season pictures of him last year, I think December 31st. I mean, it was right the last day of season. We had a daylight picture of him. So we knew he survived. And all early season, we couldn't find him. All through bow season, no encounters. And he actually was late to the party this year. He didn't start showing up on camera back in this spot until about the 27th, 28th of October. And he would make occasional passes through here in the night. Had 1 or 2 occasional daylight, right at daylight pictures, but never could quite get on him. And I told the guys, I said, I'm going to be true to myself and go ahead and stick with the archery equipment this year for rifle season. And don't get me wrong, guys, I'm not above killing deer with a rifle, and I don't want anyone to think lesser of someone who does. But you know, it's just been one of those years. I've had such a fun time. It's just been a good archery season. Had a really good time, and you know, there ain't nothing wrong with shooting one with a boomstick, but you know, I just felt compelled to just stick with the bow. I mean, it was just fun. And you know, I almost didn't go this evening. I almost didn't go. I hunted this morning. It's cold. The deer are still about halfway in lockdown here. And actually went home and took a power nap. And true story, guys, I swear. True story. The only reason I went hunting this evening because I left my bow hanging in a tree this morning when I got out. Knowing I was coming back this evening, I just left it hang there. And when I got home and I took that nap, I thought, man, I would really like to just stay here, lay on the couch. But
a lot warmer there.
It's a lot warmer there, a lot more comfortable than that stand. But I thought, well, shoot, I got to go back now because I left my bow hanging in there. So, you know, I come back and it was a quiet evening. Didn't see the first deer until probably 10 after 5. A little spike come in, a couple little does. And when I first saw him coming through the timber, boys, he looks a lot bigger in person. I'm telling you, he looked like a giant. When I first saw him coming through the timber, coming up this point, I saw the rack and I thought maybe this was a cruiser, this was a different deer. Because he looked so much bigger in person. And when we get up there, I could tell which deer it was. And must have a late season doe still in heat or something because he started bumping them. He actually grunted and growled there once. He started bumping that doe and then finally come in here to the groceries. But I can't help but think I'm telling you, I hate to be like that because, you know, as soon as you get too awful excited about a hit, you're going to get let down. But boys, I feel awful good about it.
Yep.
Did you say you found some blood here already?
Yeah, I got some blood.
When he peeled out, he went straight down this point. He went straight down this point, and I lost sight of him right over here, within 30, 40 yards of the shot.
It was like right here, somewhere.
Yeah, it was close. And it was good blood too.
Right here. Yeah, almost on impact.
Yep.
Almost on impact.
Something there.
Mm-hmm. He should have slid after running that thing right through the pump station right there. Yeah.
There's a lot of blood.
That's what we like to see. As I'm telling you, he's bigger than I thought. I'm telling you. Good little bit right there.
I ain't even got to look at it. It's right in front of me.
Yeah, it's like a Picasso painting. Boys, now if he dumps over in this part of the hollow here, we got our work cut out for it.
As bubbly as that patch is, I don't see him going much further.
Huh? You got him?
Oh, right there he is.
Excellent. Oh my. He stood there and tumbled.
Oh my Lord. Look at that, Ross.
Holy cow, guys. He was dead on impact. He's already stiffened up. Oh my gracious.
That's a giant. That is a giant.
Holy cow, guys.
Look at the bases on that.
He's already stiffened up, fellas.
He's been dead soon. I mean, that's not
Within
50 yards.
40 yards over the hill.
I mean, that's not 50 yards from the stand. Not 30 yards from impact.
Look at the fresh sapling bark there he'd been rubbing. Man, that frame is just incredible. Look at that. Yeah, I'd say where you had that puddle up here, he stopped and realized what happened. It just basically tumbled.
Look at that X. I mean, that came out perfectly. If that deer has a heart, I'm gonna be shocked.
Unreal. Who says that the Orange Army is only for rifle hunters? Guys, honest to goodness, people that know me well know that I'm not at a loss for words often, but I sure am this evening. You know, they always say that rifle season's the invasion of the Orange Army, but whoever said that the Orange Army was restricted to rifle hunters, you know? Had an awful lot of fun this season. This sure puts the closing on it and the way it's meant to be, and you know, enjoying it with other team members as well. You know, they certainly got your back whenever you need it the most. All jokes aside, there wasn't a whole lot of work to the recovery. You know, I mean, he 40, 50 yards and he piled up. But man, I'm telling you, there's some deer when you finally get them on the ground, there's some ground shrinkage. But you know, we started it with this deer back in bow season. He showed up like the 27th, 28th of October, and I had my cell cameras set up on a couple other spots, and I called one of the team members there, Jeremy Johnson. He had an extra sniper cell cam, and he brought it up and we put it here at this spot just to kind of monitor the daily activity. And you know, all through the rut, this deer just was not very patternable. He'd make the occasional appearance once every 2-3 days, never in daylight. And you know, I think we had 1 or 2 daylight pictures of him early on back in bow season. And you know, I just had to keep my fingers crossed that he wouldn't get to drifting and chasing and get killed on a neighboring farm. And I don't know, guys, I truly am speechless. No ground shrinkage at all. The story of Highway comes to a close this evening here during the West Virginia rifle season.